This team just won the Louisville Regional Championship a few days ago at time of recording, proving that for now at least Sneasler is staying on top. This one using a coaching Sneasler with, of course, Garchomp as the obvious coaching target. I think the way I've set up this view, you can't see the Garchomps and Incineroar's full sets, but I'll cover those in a second. But it just looks like a really well-rounded team with Gholdengo bringing a lot of special attacking pressure. And then Incineroar and Amoonguss, a ton of support, strong defensive lead combination, and Porygon 2, a Pokemon that I'm not very familiar with personally, but obviously very solid, bulky threat. This one with the option to Terastallize into a ground type and get ground Tera Blast, but also hitting hard with normal Tera Blast, of course. This team can set Trick Room for some speed control. It also, again, has the coaching Sneasler buff and Garchomp. I don't have a lot to say in particular about this team. I'm just going to have to try it out on the ladder and see how it goes, but you can see that it has a ton of really solid tools into the meta just throughout this well-balanced grouping of Pokemon. The Garchomp's last two moves are Dragapult and Protect, Dragapult? Dragon Claw and Protect, pretty standard. Garchomp used Dragapult. That would be pretty broken. And the Incineroar has Fake Out and Parting Shot in the last two slots that I don't think you can see. These are the original creators' EV spreads for the first time in a little while with a tournament-winning team. I have the creators' spreads, so I don't just have my own made-up worse versions. But we're just going to jump right in and see what we can do with this Sneasler Garchomp team. I feel like that's kind of reductive calling it a Sneasler Garchomp team. It has a lot of threats, but it's just a really well-rounded team. As we get some Rain Mouse Ape stuff here in the first game of the session. Just going to turn timer on. Okay, so I have not thought through the game plans with this team. How do I approach this? Doesn't seem like a great Garchomp game. For all that I've talked up the pieces on this team, I feel like some of these matchups are going to be really not obvious to me. And this is one. I could try to get Gholdengo going. Here, water. I could try to get Gholdengo going. I could just like lead Incineroar and Amoonguss. Kind of a stock defensive lead, but then of course that is threatened by Annihilate. I could lead Amoonguss Porygon 2. Try to set up Trick Room. I kind of like that here actually. I'll bring Gholdengo. And then I probably don't want Incineroar because I probably want more damage. I mean, Incineroar does have Flare Blitz on this team, but of course it'll be nerfed by Rain. It's Clear Amulet, Terra Fire, Garchomp. I could definitely bring that, and I think I will. Okay, as we see the Mouse Ape lead. And actually, I was thinking about putting the Ape to sleep, but I can try to redirect the beat up away from Annihilate. But, given that Mousehold run Terra Grass sometimes, I think it's actually safer to go for Trick Room and Protect Amoonguss. And then I'll be slower than Annihilate under Trick Room, and I can put it to sleep pretty safely. Or not, because they taunt Porygon 2. But, I did not see a Grass Terra on the Mousehold there, so I'll Terra Blast Mousehold and just Rage Powder. Amoonguss gets taunted. And the Terra Blast will not 2-hit KO. Okay. The taunt Mousehold might have just messed me up in this one. So they do get their beat up off there. And Amoonguss drops to a Rage Fist. I was going for the Pollen Puff damage, hoping that would KO Mousehold, but we don't get it. And they have their fully boosted Rage Fist, so we might be starting with a loss right off the bat here. But, I mean, I'll see if I can do something different. Do I have to try to freeze Annihilate? I also could try again to set Trick Room, but it's not even that valuable at this point, is it? You know what? Hey, if I get the freeze, so be it. And I'll also Earthquake to finish Mousehold off and damage Annihilate, even though it'll also hurt my own Porygon 2. Yeah, they go right for the taunt on Porygon 2, so good thing it attacked. Okay, survives one Drain Punch, freeze. Hey, but that's me playing to my out, right? Sometimes you just have to do that. But yeah, I completely bungled this into the Mouse Ape setup this game. I'll just double into Annihilate in the hope that I can accomplish something. Actually, you know what I could do? I don't know that it necessarily gets me anywhere, but I have to try something here. I'm going to switch Goldango into the Porygon 2 slot to waste a Drain Punch turn. And just attack right into Annihilate. And that means I'm ignoring the Pelipper, but what can you do? Wide Guard is absolutely fine. I was not going for Earthquake in this position. We do get the immunity into the Drain Punch. Well, they might not be running any speed on Annihilate. I don't when I use the setup Annihilate. So Goldango might be able to get a Shadow Ball off pretty safely here. On the other hand, the Pelipper can set Tailwind. So I think I have to read Annihilate protects this turn, Pelipper goes for Tailwind. Therefore, I'll double into Pelipper. Stellar Terra. I don't think they're going for Tailwind. But they do protect Annihilate. And a KO Goldango with a Weather Ball. So Pelipper was faster than Goldango, and yeah, I'm just going to lose to that now. Okay, well, rough first game, but getting that lead wrong just was something that I couldn't recover from here, I guess. At least I didn't find a way. I'll play this out, but maybe I can win if I crit Annihilate. I'm going to protect here around a possible fake out, and maybe I can win if I crit Annihilate with the Earthquake after that. Of course, no reason not to click Earthquake now. They never did get Tailwind up. So Garchomp should be the fastest Pokemon. Okay, they protect. Are they going to... well, they can't Parting Shot Garchomp, but maybe they'll knock off. Will-O-Wisp. Oh, but they missed. Earthquake doesn't KO Incineroar, so I'm going to Terra Fire here around another Will-O-Wisp and hope to crit Annihilate. That's my out. Oh, I did crit Annihilate, but it didn't KO, so I guess it wasn't my out. However, you know, I did what I could to fight back there, and we'll move on to the next one. But yeah, for all I talk up this team for being really well-rounded, I definitely didn't know that matchup. Obviously, the original creator practiced that matchup a bunch, or ones like it, before going to Louisville, because it's something to know in the meta if you're taking his team to a tournament. Here we get Sneasler, Dragapult stuff. So, okay. Might want to Incineroar into some of these Pokemon. Do have to watch out for the Kingambit, of course. I don't mind... I really don't dislike a coaching Sneasler game plan here. I have to be careful of the Primarina, but I could Dire Claw it, unless it's running Terra Poison, which many of them do, but then I could Stomping Tantrum it. I kind of want to just lead Sneasler Garchomp. They do both have Protect, so I can cover for a Fake Out with that. I think I will bring Incineroar. And I'm leaning a Mungus in the last slot. Maybe I need Goldango's offense, though. It might be... I don't know. It's hard for Goldango to get going into some of these Pokemon, but it's strong into others. I'm going to bring a Mungus, and if I have too little damage, that will be a good thing to learn from this. Okay, so we see them lead Sneasler, Rillaboom. Actually, what is this max... Am I running max speed Sneasler? I am. Okay. But I'm going to protect both my Pokemon this turn, and then go for... I think I'll go for a coaching next turn. Obviously, I'm leaving Garchomp vulnerable to Dire Claw status, but we'll hope that doesn't happen. Also, I talk up my max speed Sneasler, but they actually they're definitely they're definitely running Unburden. You run Unburden with a Seed, so their Sneasler will go first. They just try to fake out both of my Pokemon. Okay. Yeah, so they might be able to stop me, but I'll go for the coaching here and a Stomping Tantrum into their Sneasler. There are some ways that this can go wrong, but if they Grassy Glide and Acrobatics into my Sneasler, that's a way that it can go wrong. I could Terra Flying here to cover for that. But I'm not going to. I'll save my Terra and hope it works out. As they actually switch Rillaboom out, so they won't be making that play. They do Dire Claw into Garchomp. They don't get a status. And Stomping Tantrum KOs their Sneasler. Don't know if the crit mattered. Wouldn't bet on it. They've gotten Dragapult in here, but I have the Terra Fire available on Garchomp because I didn't get scared and Terra my Sneasler this turn. And I think I'm just going to go for a Dire Claw into Primarina and Terrafire... Stomping. They could protect Primarina. Terrafire, Dragon Claw into Dragapult. Garchomp also is faster than Primarina, so if they protect this turn, I have the option to double target Primarina next turn. Or if Rillaboom comes back in, well, if I KO Dragapult, then Rillaboom will come back in. Then I can double protect again and then double into Primarina. Or whatever the case may be. I mean, I also have Incineroar in the back, so that can handle Rillaboom. Even a Moongus might be able to. But yeah, coaching Sneasler kind of paying off early in this game. As we see the Dragon Darts do a lot of damage, but not quite knock Sneasler down to Sash. Dire Claw puts their Primarina to sleep, so that's pretty clutch. And Dragapult is gone. Obviously, this game has been a lot about the Dire Claw luck. I've gotten it, and my opponent hasn't. But so if you're a Sneasler hater, you probably feel pretty vindicated by the way this game has gone so far. But yeah, I think this is fine. But hey, right now at least, I'm not complaining. I'm going to double into Primarina this turn because I don't know if they can KO Sneasler with Grassy Glide. Oh, but you know what? I don't... No, it's fine if I Stomping Tantrum Rillaboom. It won't do as much damage as I'd like, but it will do some damage. So yeah, we'll do that. And they do get the KO into Sneasler, so I'm glad I double targeted Primarina there. I also could have just gone for the Dire Claw into Rillaboom in hindsight, but doesn't matter. Get Incineroar in here, and I might as well just fake out and Dragon Claw, and then I could click Flare Blitz next turn if I need to. Okay, I mean Dragon Claw will get the KO here. Garchomp putting in work with that one coaching boost from Sneasler, but then also, I mean, this is the kind of Sneasler game that people complain about, right? We both led it. My opponent, oh, they've disconnected. That's a little rude. But if they're a little unhappy with this game, I can understand, because we both led Sneasler. One of us got Dire Claw status and the other didn't. And it's fair to say that influenced the way that the game turned out quite a lot. I was trying to play it fairly safe independent of that, but... well, if my opponent had gotten Dire Claw status, it would have been a very different game. I was trying to play it fairly safe independent of my own Dire Claw luck, but I did get that luck and benefit from it for sure. But also, yeah, Garchomp just putting in a lot of work with that one coaching boost there. And that was sort of one of the top builds in the meta going into Louisville, so... maybe a really basic look at how this team could exploit those. Got another Rain team here with your typical Archaludon, Basculegion stuff, but then they also have some kind of Porygon 2 mode, probably with Archaludon and Goldango. Interesting. Okay. I mean, Goldango's pretty standard on Rain teams, but... okay. I like Incineroar in this set, but it is a little tricky to position. Eric Ghost. Okay. I don't know that I'm allergic to going for coaching stuff again, but maybe I need Goldango stuff instead. Actually, Terra Water Goldango is a little bit sturdier into Basculegion than most sets, although that does open up weaknesses into Archaludon and Rillaboom. Maybe I want to set... excuse me. Maybe I want to set Trick Room, because otherwise the Basculegion is just a giant threat. You know what? Maybe I want to lead... kind of want to lead Incineroar or Moongus. I think I'm going to lead Porygon 2 and Moongus again. I don't feel like I can bring all three of Porygon 2, Incineroar, and a Moongus to most sets, most games. But I do feel like I want Trick Room. So I feel like this mode is probably not right, but we'll try it. I just have to think about how to beat the Basculegion, you know? So I'll go right for Trick Room here. And I kind of want to click Rage Powder. That might mean that Amoonguss has to eat a Hurricane, but I do think this will help me get the Trick Room up relatively safely. Ooh, Psychic Fangs. I don't know if that's common now. I haven't seen it before, but they do just wipe out a Mungus. But they give me Goldango here. I do think I might have to go for the Terra Water, which could open up weaknesses into whatever they have in the back, but... yeah, I think I might just have to do that. I'm going to Ice Beam the Basculegion slot, anticipating it to switch out. And go for a nasty plot setup with Goldango. As we see there, Porygon 2, not ideal. Really not ideal. How do I beat this? Don't know if I do. I mean, I want to click Make It Rain, but if we see Wide Guard from the Pelipper, so I'm going to double into Pelipper instead. No Wide Guard, so I could have clicked Make It Rain. And not taking that big Terra Blast from Porygon 2. Yeah, okay, might just lose to their Porygon 2 now. And if Basculegion comes back in here, first of all, it can Aqua Jet, but also, if I turn Trick Room off... oh, it's their Goldango. This Goldango is wasting EVs, but also it has no positive or negative speed investment. Probably true of theirs as well. But I can't... if my Goldango gets KO'd by Porygon 2 here, that doesn't do me any good. I'm going to try to turn my Trick Room off early and just hope that somehow my Goldango is faster than theirs, though I don't think it will be. It could be a speed tie. That's possible. But I need to get Goldango moving before Porygon 2 to have any chance here, I think. Try to KO their Goldango here. But I think I've just gotten this one wrong from the early game again. Like that first game I played. So as good as this team looks on paper, I'm definitely finding it hard to pilot, at least in these rain matchups. It was smoother in the Sneasler Dragapult matchup. Oh, okay, yeah, their Goldango goes first. Although... there was a bit of fortune involved in that. Just gonna Earthquake. And lose to the Porygon 2, I think. Yeah. Alright. Yeah, still haven't figured out a rain matchup, and we've gotten 2 out of 3 games so far into that. But this is not a rain team. In fact, this is a team that really wants to not play in weather. They have Altaria, Rillaboom, Incineroar, Goldango, Sneasler, and Blood Moon Ursaluna. I feel like I can coach Garchomp in this game. Although the Ursaluna is a threat. Well, it is a threat, but I think I have ways to deal with it. I'm going to do the coaching Garchomp lead again. And I really don't know what Pokemon I want in the back. Incineroar is very good into some of these. Probably too good to ignore. I honestly don't hate Porygon 2. Able to take hits and fire off Ice Beams into most of this team. Maybe Ground Terra Blast if the positioning calls for it. I don't think it's a great Goldango matchup. Maybe if they don't have Throat Chop on the Sneasler, but I don't know whether they do. Of course, at Louisville, this team was played under open team sheets. I think I will bring Incineroar. I don't hate a Mungus here, especially if I go for like a Garchomp-centered game plan. Kind of try to protect Garchomp and keep it rolling. But there's definitely a case for Porygon 2. I am going to bring a Mungus, and we'll see how that turns out. And you know what? I just remembered that Altaria gets Will-O-Wisp, so I might have to Terrasilize Garchomp right off the bat here. Which, you know, well, I'll double protect first, but just as well then that I didn't bring Porygon 2, because I would probably want to save my Terra for that if I did. Or at least it could get awkward if I didn't save my Terra for it. It could be Cotton Guard Altaria. Make itself hard to break. Just this Tailwind, though. So I go for a knockoff into Sneasler. Well, hopefully I can still get the coaching off. And I will Terrafire, Stomping Tantrum, and Incineroar. Are they going to knock Sneasler out before I get coaching? Nope, there's the coaching. And we KO Incineroar, so we even still have Sneasler on the field, although this Sneasler has Poison Touch, so it's still going to be slower than Altaria. Might be worth it to switch Sneasler out, get my Incineroar in. Yeah, because I think like a Dire Claw or close combat into this could come in handy later, so I will switch Sneasler out. And just Dragon Claw Ursaluna, I think. Garchomp hopefully won't have to take an Earth Power here. Ooh, play rough on the Altaria, okay. Garchomp gets KO'd by the Earth Power, so there goes the Garchomp-centered game plan. As we'll slow things down a little bit with Incineroar and Amoonguss. And let's just try to put the Ursaluna to sleep if we can. That does give... Okay, it has Protect. Good to know. That does give Altaria another chance to set Tailwind. But... target the Ursaluna again. It's not going to protect this turn. This goes for Blood Moon into Amoonguss, so that means it won't be taking a nap. Maybe I needed to protect Amoonguss that turn. As, yeah, I'm just going to lose to Ursaluna now. I'll try to preserve Sneasler. Yeah, they go for that KO. They get the KO on Incineroar, and Sneasler is not going to be pulling this one back. Guess I'll just go for the triple Protect to get out of their Tailwind. But don't even get the double. And Sneasler drops, and so I went, what, 1-3 with the team that won Louisville. So for all that I talked about it being a really solid, well-rounded team, and I could definitely see it, I can understand it performing extremely well at a high level with strong and flexible Pokemon like Gholdengo, Incineroar, Garchomp, Amoonguss. And, you know, game plans that the original creator has thought out and practiced leading in, unlike me just picking up the team for the first time right now. But yeah, that might be one of the tougher goes. That definitely is one of the tougher goes that I've had so far with a tournament-winning team, so definitely not the easiest to use. I did enjoy the coaching Garchomp mode, and it did pay off in one game. Maybe I needed to be clicking Dire Claw more liberally. That seems to be what the top players do with Sneasler, but yeah, definitely a tough one for me. But if you want to pick this team up, you can find... Well, I showed the paste earlier in the video, but also the creator has posted it on Twitter. I believe their Twitter handle is HonorStoice, like the word honor, and then the Stoice from Blastoise. But yeah, maybe you'll have a better time with this team than I did. In any case, back with a different team next time.